confidence do you have this Sunday in the Denver Broncos? TJ, I'll start with you.
I think Peyton Manning will get back on track, so that means confidence is fairly high. They've had success against the Chargers. The Chargers are a good football team, but Peyton Manning is not going to play too many bad games, so to speak. And I wouldn't even call them bad games. They just running the ball a little bit more than they normally do. And to win in the playoffs, if you have to go to New England in the playoffs, you have to be able to run the ball. And I think they're working on certain plays that may or may not work. This is pretty much do or die for the Chargers because the AFC is so loaded. The Broncos will win this game, in my opinion. Peyton Manning will get back on track. The first game, Emmanuel Sanders and Demaryius Thomas both had over 100 yards receiving. I could see that happening again. The Chargers don't have the guys in the secondary to slow those guys down. And I think Peyton Manning will have a typical Peyton Manning game, 300 yards, a few touchdowns, 28 for 36 type of day.
And they win by a couple touchdowns?
I would say they probably would win 24-14, 24-13, around there.
This is a divisional game, and my philosophy on divisional games is they always are bitterly contested, always pretty close. But when you have a Peyton Manning, he has the ability to really change that scenario because of their ability to score points in bunches. The fact that the Buffalo Bills really stymied the offense a bit, forced Peyton Manning to throw some interceptions and make some mistakes there. I believe because of that, like you said, he usually doesn't have two bad games in that regard. I think he will play well. And then you also have to factor in that Denver defense. They've been playing very, very well. So I look at San Diego and I say San Diego just haven't been able to win the big game, the game that they have to win. Whenever they have that game on the schedule, they lose.
You don't think Baltimore was that game in a way?
No,
I mean, it was like a survival game.
It wasn't. No one expected them to win that game. No. And, they won the game, but it wasn't one of those pivotal games. The game against New England, it's pivotal. They hadn't beaten New England. They still can't beat New England. When they get in the, championship game or they get in the playoffs, they just can't win. Last year, a big game against Denver, they had to win. They couldn't win. So I'm just not sold on San Diego being able to really get over the hump. And that's what they have to do in this football game. They've got to get over the hump. They've got to beat Denver. This is a must-win game for San Diego. And in must-win games, I haven't seen San Diego rise to the occasion. And because of that, I've got to go with the Denver Broncos.
You know what, though? The only silver lining you can say that the Chargers can hang their hat on, so to speak, is Ryan Matthews. He didn't play the first game.
No.
And so that gives them a little boost in the running game. But it's what you said. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough for him. But Ryan Matthews, he's a lot different back than what they had than the guys behind him. So that should help him out a little bit. But it's what Buzz said. They haven't been able to win the big game.
No.
I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this game.
Wow.
And I really have, I'll tell you why, I have no choice. Before the year started, I probably bit off a little more than I should have chewed on this one, but I picked the Chargers to win this division in an upset and dethrone this team, the Denver Broncos. And they did knock off, as you recall, in Game 2, Seattle in San Diego.
Yep.
And the X factor in that game, the difference maker to me for San Diego in that game was their Sproles-like player who was Danny Woodhead. And I think he broke his leg and he's gone for the year, okay? And they have missed that X factor game after game after game because, as you know, Rivers just makes it up on the fly. He throws it underhand and sidearm and overhand and whatever he has to do, he dinks and dunks and tries to convert on third down. And Woodhead was critical to him because he was a little safety valve that was hard for defenses to account for. So against New England, and again, this defense with Revis Island is back. But the Chargers at home scored 7 offensive points in that game, and then they scored 7 on defense. And it did disturb me that Belichick said, I think on Monday, that he was shocked that there was a large contingent of Patriot fans sitting behind the bench. Well, how did they get those tickets? So are the Chargers fans starting to bail on this team? So that's no good. But this team does play the heck out of the Denver Broncos. They played them 3 times last year, and they're all 7 or 8 point games. It's 28-20, 27-20, 24-17. So Weddle and company, Weddle can really play. I mean, he gets in Peyton's head a little bit. I mean, they can hang in against Peyton. Peyton last year averaged 283 yards passing. So they know how to hang in, just hang in. But now Peyton's offense has been reinvented. They're now a running team. I mean, when I least expected it, now it's C.J. Anderson and somebody named Juwan Thompson is running wild, and like he's not throwing it that much. Well, is that the formula for them to go deep into the playoffs again? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, when I'm rooting against them, as I'm about to be on this Sunday, I would much rather them be running the ball than Peyton throwing it, because when Peyton starts throwing it, bad stuff happens usually, right? I mean, points get scored in a hurry.
In bunches,
so, yeah.
as you said.
and remember the game last year at Foxborough when Denver got the big lead, and it was no Sean, and Belichick was just saying, just let him run, let him run. What did he go for? Like, I forget, 225 yards rushing. And the Patriots finally came back and won in overtime because they just say, nope, Peyton's not going to beat us. That guy can beat us. You can run it all day long. And I think that'll be San Diego's mindset. It'll be, okay, let him run, let him run. We'll just hang, we'll hang. But don't let Peyton go crazy on us. So I'm going to say that San Diego's going to pull out a 7-point game here. But I'm way against the grain on this one.
I guess the philosophy is if Peyton gets on fire, he's like a guy in the NBA, like a Kobe or LeBron. Like, oh, man, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
So
yeah.
they would just rather him hand the ball off, and we have a chance to win in the fourth quarter. If Peyton gets on fire, it's a wrap.